Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the GSMC Basketball Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. As always, I'm your host, Meryl Fatemi. Getting into our next segment here, we're going to talk a little bit about the New York Knicks, climbing back from 17 points down in the second half, with midway through the third quarter, actually, coming back and stealing game one in Boston. And we're going to discuss everything about this game because there is a lot to discuss. How the Knicks pulled it off, concerns for the Celtics, and some overall health concerns about a key player for this Boston Celtics team moving forward in the series. But before I move any further, I'd like to remind you guys to please like and follow the show for more GSMC Sports Network content. Also, we get a number of questions from viewers that come in during the show, so to ensure that your question gets read on air, I ask that you use the tips and donations link at gsmcpodcast.net. This puts your question at the top of the list so that I see it, and it also really helps out the show. Again, the link is gsmcpodcast.net for all your questions and comments. But getting right into it here, we had a big game two, or game one actually, in Boston last night. Give me 1 second, guys. I apologize. I'm just dealing with some technical difficulties. Um, Hold on. Let me take a short break if I can't. My laptop does not. I'm going to be right back, guys. Just give me 2 seconds. I promise I'll be right back. Okay. I apologize for that. Whatever technical difficulties I just had on this laptop, think they're good to go. I'll make sure about I'll take a look at it after the show. So I apologize for that. But back to where I was. We had a massive game one last night between it wasn't as good as the Nuggets Thunder. Unfortunately, that one took the crown for best game of the night last night. But this was also an overtime game. I'm probably also saying that I didn't like it because I was a Celtics fan and I had to watch it. But that is neither here nor there. We are going to discuss this game in totality. The New York Knicks, props to you guys, playing an unbelievable second half, giving the Celtics everything they can handle, coming back from 17 points down in stunning fashion, stunning the Boston Celtics, and it was all on the heels of Jalen Brunson and OG Anunoby, two players, one of them at least, in OG Anunoby, that has not got a whole lot of recognition throughout the series. Did not get a lot of recognition in the preview as well from me. I apologize for that. This is a player that showed up and showed out on both sides of the ball, shooting 6 of 11 from 3-point range, 10 of 20 from the field. Just an unbelievable game, and as a whole, and playing on both sides of the ball. Seriously, his defense on Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown was crucial in this one, and in the outcome and how this game played out. For Jalen Brunson, he finished with 29 points as well. Just a little bit less of not as efficient of a game as we expect from him. Only 9 of 23 from the field, but still shooting 5 of 9 from 3-point range. So he was efficient from the 3-point arc. But great game from him regardless. He just had, whether his ankle is still bothering him, whether it was the defense that Drew Holiday was playing on him, matching up late in that game. Drew Holiday was matching him up one on one, and it was a great performance in general from Jalen Brunson. But yeah, the Knicks coming back from 17 points down on this one and the team that needs to get more noise on this one is the Boston Celtics. Before I even bring anything up, the Boston Celtics shot pretty putrid last night. Like, I don't know how else to slice it other than that was one of the worst performances I've seen from the Boston Celtics in a long time. 45 missed three-pointers. NBA playoff record. Probably the worst shooting performance I've seen from a team in a long time, at least throughout the regular season. You see the shot is not falling in the second half. You continue to go after it late in the game. You keep trying to shoot the hero ball, trying to get yourself back in the game, while New York is continuing to go on their run. You just can't stop the bleeding. Jalen Brown, 0 of 10 from three-point range before the overtime, or 0 for 9 from three-point range before overtime. You make your first three-pointer in overtime. Jason Tatum, 7 of 23 from the field, 4 for 15 from 3. Really? Derek White, 5 of 16. He did hit a clutch three-pointer that eventually forced the game into overtime. He did do that. But this is a Celtics team that we know can play better, can shoot better, can scheme better. And there is another point of concern I want to bring up. That I was having this argument with a couple of my buddies last night, and I kind of want to see what you guys think about it in the chat. Let me know what you guys think in the chat when I say this. There were 2 timeouts in Joe Mazzulla's pocket in overtime. With I think it was 14 seconds to go in the game. You get the ball, you're down by 3. You have 2 timeouts. Are you taking any of those timeouts throughout that span when you're down by 3 points, when your offense is stagnant, when your offense can't get anything going, when Karl-Anthony Towns and Josh Hart are going back and forth, dunking the ball over you? Or do you just let the clock run out? Because I can tell you what the Celtics did. But just thinking about it from a logistics standpoint, 14 seconds left. You're down by 3 points. Your offense has been playing horrible in the second half. Gave up a 17-point lead midway through the third quarter. Forced the game into overtime. You got lucky you got forced into overtime because Jalen Brunson missed an easy floater that could have gone off. Easy floater that we've seen him hit time and time again. Just rimmed out this time. That could have won the game in regulation for the New York Knicks. You don't take a timeout. You let the clock run all the way down to 3 seconds when they intentionally foul you because the Knicks had a foul to give. And then you take a timeout when the clock's done. Oh, and let me hear that again. Oh, you couldn't get the inbounds play? You had to take another timeout. And then on top of that, you use 2 timeouts on the same inbounds play. Well, not the same one because the Celtics, I believe it was, no, the Knicks had another foul to give. So I guess it was 2 inbound plays. But on the second inbound play, you throw a Hail Mary pass cross court. I believe it was Mikal Bridges. It was either Mikal Bridges or Josh Hart. Closes out on Jalen Brown. All he does is put his hands on the ball, and the game's over. And I mean Josh Hart or Mikal Bridges. I can't remember who did it. It was one of the two. I believe it was Mikal Bridges. Going over just simply putting his hands on the ball to force a jump ball, and that's the end of the game. You don't even get a shot off. That is what I mean when I say it blows my mind that the Celtics do not take a timeout with under 14 seconds to play against one of the best defensive teams in the league. You let the clock run all the way down to 3 seconds. You give yourself barely an opportunity to shoot, to get a playoff, to get a shot off. You don't get a shot off. And then you have to sit there and lose by 3 points, shooting whatever you did, missing 45 three-pointers. Your best three-point shooter was Peyton Pritchard off the bench. And I love Peyton Pritchard, but he is not supposed to be a primary scorer for this team. He is a 6th man of the year, but he's not a primary scorer. He should never be. So the Celtics have problems. On top of that, Kristaps Porzingis leaves the game and gets benched in the second half. Now, there are reports that he's sick at the moment. So hopefully he'll be okay quick enough. But we saw, without Kristaps Porzingis in, Karl Anthony Towns had a field day in the third quarter, in the fourth quarter as well. Had a field day on the offensive glass. Without Kristaps Porzingis, this is the same, or not exactly the same, but this is a similar situation to what the Minnesota Timberwolves put the Los Angeles Lakers through. Similar situation to what the Nuggets did to the Clippers. And we'll talk a little. Actually, that's a key point I missed earlier as well. Oh well. But rebounding is key in the playoffs. Offensive physicality wears on you throughout the playoffs. If you cannot get boards, Tatum had 16 boards. Derek White had 11 boards. That was nice to see. But Karl Anthony Towns also had 14 and 13 last night. Josh Hart had 14 and 11 last night. Mitch Robinson had 3.7 rebounds. Mikal Bridges had 8.6 rebounds. These are players that are getting key offensive rebounds. Well, not I don't know if they're not all offensive rebounds, but they're all extra opportunities to get stops, stop momentum, get to the free throw line, get extra possessions to get shots up. And this is how you lose games in the playoffs. Without Kristaps Porzingis, I am very worried for this Celtics team. I think without Porzingis, this Knicks team can bring this series all the way up to 7 games. I really think so, because Karl Anthony Towns is going to have a field day. Al Horford cannot guard Karl Anthony Towns by himself. Plain and simple. Without Porzingis, Karl Anthony Towns is going to have a field day in the paint. Whether it's Towns, whether it's Mitchell Robinson, whoever it is. You need to have Porzingis is a key part to this team. And he's a big reason why the Celtics had success against the Dallas Mavericks in the finals. Without Porzingis, this team is in a world of trouble. So we're gonna continue to monitor that situation, because it is reported that he's just sick. And if he's just sick, he had a very bad first half. So if he's just sick, then we can let him off the hook. 0 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. 0 for 4 from the field. So we know he can play better. We know Kristaps Porzingis is one of the better big men in the league. And when he's healthy, he can be. But he has to be healthy. We'll monitor that situation as the playoffs continue to draw on. But major props to the New York Knicks walking into Boston in a series that a lot of people picked Boston to dominate. Myself included. I know. I picked them to dominate in 5 or 6 games. I didn't think it was going to go past 6 games. I didn't think it was going to go past 5 games. But the Knicks walk into Boston and pull off, honestly, stun Boston and have us rethinking everything that we saw. Whether it was an aberration that the Celtics shot as bad as they did, or whether it was the defense. Mikal Bridges also, shout out to Mikal Bridges, playing 51 minutes last night. Playing like a true Iron Man, truly playing like one of the best two-way players in the league. One of the most reliable players in the league. He only had 8 points in this one, but to play the way he did, have 3 steals, he was all over the place, and he was a big reason why the Knicks pulled off this win and pulled off this comeback in general. So major props to this New York Knicks team, and we know they're going to continue to play. They're going to this game is only going to grow their confidence. New York Knicks fans will be ready to go in New York, because they have now seen that this Knicks team can win a game in Boston. Boston, you better win game 2. Because if you don't win game 2, you're in a world of trouble in New York. They are an experienced team. The Celtics are an experienced team. They have a lot of experience. They're NBA champions. But you're going into New York, one of the most hostile environments in basketball. The Pistons pulled off 2 wins there. Can you do the same? I think if the Knicks also won all 3 games in Detroit. So I'm not honestly that shocked that they won in Boston. They're one of the most versatile teams on the road. They proved that against Detroit. They proved that last night against Boston. But Boston needs to figure out a new scheme. and quickly. This might come down to the coaching of Joe Mazzulla down the stretch here. Because we know the Celtics have the talent, but can they be schematically put in the right place to succeed? That's the question. But I'm going to take another short break. Coming up next, I'm going to preview one of the most, probably the best playoff series of the playoffs in general. I don't think we're going to get a better playoff series than what's coming up between the Minnesota Timberwolves and Golden State Warriors. Two teams that don't have a lot of experience seeing each other, but two teams that emulate each other very well. Anthony Edwards, honestly, the more I see him, the more he reminds me of a younger version of a Steph Curry back in the day. Getting the title of Legend Killer, taking out Kevin Durant last year, taking out Nikola Jokic in the Denver Nuggets last year, taking out LeBron James this year, now going after Steph Curry right now. I'm going to preview everything to know about that series and game one later tonight in general. You're watching the GSMC Basketball Podcast, presented by the GSMC Sports Network. Don't go anywhere.